All right, what's up, everyone? Welcome back to Babylon Talmud. It's a bit of a rainy day over here in Chengdu, but that won't stop us. So here we go. Babylon Talmud, Daf Zayin, Mamisha, clean start right at the top of the page. Another monster of a daf over here, so let's get right into it. I'm Rabbi Yochanan Mishum Rabbi Yossi. We're going to see tons of stuff today from Rabbi Yochanan in the name of Rabbi Yossi. So he says, that's pretty cool. How do we know that God himself prays? Okay, so who does he pray to? Does he pray to himself? Apparently, yes. So Shenemar, as the pasuk says, I'll bring them to my holy mountain, and I will make them happy in the place of my, in the house of my prayer. Oh, it doesn't say that I'll make them happy in the house of their prayer, but in the house of my prayer. So apparently, he's taking us to his personal prayer room where he himself prays. So here we see that God himself actually prays. Well, my matzli. Well, then you might ask, that's curious. So what exactly do his prayers look like? So Amar Rav Zutra Bartuvia, Amar Rav Yotzam Milfanai, may be the will in my own will before me, Rachami es Kaasi, that my mercy should overwhelm or should subdue my anger. Vigolu rachamai amidosai, and my mercy should be revealed upon my attributes, the way I act. Vesnaheg im banai b'midas rachamim, and I should act with my children with mercy. Ve'akanis lehem lifnim mishur sadin, and I should enter with them beyond the letter of the law, right? Not to go strictly by the letter of the law. Almost it reminds me of like that first pasuk in Berachos. It says, Berachos bara Elokim. Initially, God created the world b'midas hadin, but he saw that the world wouldn't be able to work if everything was only din, din, din. So he prays before himself that he should be able to, go beyond the letter of the law and give us a shtickle, room. Lee room, is that a word? Leeway. Okay. Tanya. So we learn in a very interesting brisa. Amar Bishma ben Elisha. So Bishma ben Elisha was a Kohen Gadol, and he said the following statement, that a very curious thing once happened to him when he went into the Kodesh HaKadoshim to offer the Ketores, and I assume that that's talking about on Yom Kippur, because I don't know when else he would be going to the Kodesh HaKadoshim. So Pam Achas Nichnasi Lahaktir Ketores Lifnai V'Lifnim. One time I went in to burn incense in the Holy of Holies. V'ra'isi Akasriel Kashem Tzvakos, and I saw God himself. Okay, Akasriel, I guess, is like a name of God, right? So he said, I saw God himself. Shu Yoshev al Kiseram Venisa, that he was sitting on his lofty throne. So I don't know if this was some kind of nevuah, some kind of vision of God in heaven, or maybe God was in the Holy of Holies. V'amarli, and he said to me, Yishmael b'ni barcheni. Curiously enough, he said, give me a bracha, Yishmael, my son. So so I said to him, maybe the will before you, that your mercy should subdue your anger, and that your mercy should be revealed on your actions, and you should act with your children in the with mercy. And you should enter with them beyond the letter of the law. And he nodded with his head, and that was that. Curious story. And what do we learn from this curious story? That even the blessing of a very, very simple person, well, even though Rabbi Shmuel ben Elisha was the Kohen Gadol, obviously when compared with God, he's a very simple person. So even the blessing of a simple person, you should not take lightly, and you should take it seriously. Rabbi Yochanan says another thing in the name of Rabbi Yossi. How do we know that we don't try to appease a person when he is upset? Just let him be upset, give him a second to just get his bearings, and just let him be upset for a second. This happened after the Chet HaEgel. Hashem says to Moshe Rabbeinu, he says, just my anger will go away, and then I will be able to console you. So Amalek Kadosh Baruch Hu Moshe, Hamten li achayavu panim shalzam. Just wait for me until my anger goes away. V'aniach lecha, and I will give you what you are asking for. Wait a second. Is there really anger in front of God? And I think that the reason why we're bringing the sugya over here is because we talked about how God praised himself that he should enter lifnim rishur sadin, beyond the letter of the law. And we're going to see now about how God really went above and beyond during all the days of Bilam HaRasha in Parshas Balak when he tried to curse us, and he was unable to because God held back his anger, even though he normally gets angry every day for an instant. During that whole period, he went beyond the letter of the law, and he didn't get angry at all in order to prevent Bilam HaRasha from being able to curse us. Okay, fine. So the Gemara says, 3 lines before it gets wide, is there really anger in front of God? So the Gemara answers, yes, there is. Titania, as we learn in a brisa, Vikel zo'em b'chol yom, which is interesting because that's actually a pasuk. It's not a brisa, but I guess that the following is the brisa. That the pasuk says that God gets angry every single day. V'chama za'amo, how long is his anger? Rega. The Gemara answers, his anger lasts for a rega. V'chama rega, how long is a rega? So the Gemara answers, it's echad mechameshes ribo v'shmones alafim u'shmona meos v'shmona b'sha'a. Okay? V'zohi rega, and this is a rega. So one rega is, if you take an hour and you divide it into 58,888 little pieces, one of those pieces is a rega, and every single day, God gets angry for that amount of time. Ve'ein kol birya yicholet lechavin osa sha'a, and nobody's able to figure out exactly when this time is, and try to exploit it in any way. Chutz mi Bilam HaRasha, the one exception being Bilam the Rasha, Bilam the evil. That it says about Bilam in Parshas Balak, it says, V'yodea da'as elyon, that he knows the knowledge of God. Now the Gemara says, well, that's curious. Hashdadas behemto la'avayada, das elyon avayada. He didn't even know the knowledge of his own animal, right? Of course, because when he was going to curse the Bnei Yisrael, there was an angel on the way, and the donkey kept on trying to avoid the angel. Bilam could not see the angel, and he couldn't figure out what his silly little donkey was doing, and he was hitting the donkey, right? So the Gemara says, this is weird. He didn't even know what was with his donkey, and he knows what's with God's knowledge. So Ela Melamed Shaya Yodeh Lechavin Osasha Shakadosh Baruch Hu Kohes Ba. No, his special power was that he was able to know when was that time every single day that God gets angry, and he would be able to exploit that time. And that was his strategy for how he was going to curse the Jews. He was going to, exploit that vulnerability when God is angry to curse the Yidden. This is what Micha says to the Bnei Yisrael. Ami, my nation, Zechorna Mayad's Balak Melech Moav. Remember what Balak was trying to do. He got Bilam to try and curse him, and what Bilam was forced to answer Balak, that what can I do? I'm incapable of cursing the Yidden, right? My lemandas sidkos Hashem, right? The pasuk there in Micha continues, says, in order that you should appreciate, that you should know the righteousness of God. So Amar Belazar, Amar Lohem HaKadosh Baruch Hu Yisrael. Oh, and it's raining again. Amar Belazar, says Rabbi Belazar, Amar Lohem HaKadosh Baruch Hu Yisrael, that God said to the Bnei Yisrael, De'u kam tzidkos asisi imachem, right? Know how much righteousness I in fact did with you, shelo ka'asti bimei Bilam HaRasha, that I didn't get angry at all during the entire days of Bilam HaRasha when he was trying to curse you, right? Even though in general God gets angry every day, during that entire time he didn't get angry whatsoever. Because if I would have gotten angry, once again we see this euphemism, right, that the enemies of Israel, a reference to the Bnei Yisrael themselves, would not remain at all. And this is exactly Bilam's, right, now we can understand Bilam's response to Balak, right, when he's trying to explain why he's incapable of cursing the Yidden. He says, Ma'ekov lo kavokel. What can I curse? God has not cursed. Uma'ezam lo za'am Hashem. What will I anger? God has not gotten angry. It's very strange. Normally God gets angry every day, and I always know when it happens. He hasn't gotten angry at all, and I've been incapable of cursing the Bnei Yisrael. Melamed shekol osan hayomim lo za'am. Teaches that that time Hashem didn't get angry. V'chama za'amo. And then the Gemara asks once again, even though we already said this, but v'kama za'amo, how long is his his anger? It's a rega. It's for one rega. This is interesting. On this daf, on daf Zion, there are three things that it seems to be repeating for I don't know, for reasons that I can't get. This is one of them, right? How long is his anger? It's a rega, right? We already said that. We're going to see two more instances today where the Gemara is going to repeat itself. I don't know why. V'chama rega. How long is a rega? Amar Rabbi Avin v'itema Rabbi Avina rega kimemre. How long is a rega? Rega. That's how long it is. The amount of time that it takes to say the word rega. Umenalan de rega rasach. How do we know that God gets angry every single day? Shnei Amar, no. We know that he gets angry every day because it says v'kel zoim b'chol yom. How do we know that the anger lasts only a rega? Shnei Amar ki rega be'apo chaim b'tzono. That his anger lasts only a minute, but his ratzon, his desire, his appeasement is eternity. V'iba yisema, or if you want, I will say mehacha from here. Right, that this is talking about right before the all the troubles and stuff that are going to be before the geula, before the redemption. Right, it says all sorts of bad stuff are going to happen, and Yeshayahu Hanavi, I believe it is, says to the Yidden, Chavi kimat rega, go and hide yourselves for a minute and do tshuva ad ya'avor za'am, until my anger passes. So we see that his anger is for a rega. Ve'emas rasach, when is this minute? Right, don't right. I'm sure you've all been waiting to know when is this minute? When is his rega? This 158,888 of an hour. Amar Abaye b'hanachtuas shai kamaisa, in the first 3 hours of the day, ki chivara karbalta de tanagola, when the crest of the rooster is white. Okay, the crest of the rooster. If you go look on Google for crest of a rooster, it's like that red thing on top, not under its chin, but like on top of its head. So when that becomes white, v'kai achad kara, and it stands on one leg, that is when God gets angry. Kol shaita v'shaita nami kai hachi. 1 second, every hour a rooster stands on one leg, I guess. So kol shaita izbe shuraiki sumke right, shuraiki sumke. Every single, in general, the crest has like streaks of red in it. Ba'i shaita leizbe shuraiki sumke. But at that hour, when God gets angry, it's just all white. There's no red streaks. If you have more information about this, let us know. There was a certain heretic who lived in the neighborhood, in the town of Rabbi Yeshua ben Levi. And he mamash hak a chinik Rabbi Yeshua ben Levi with psukim. He would bother Rabbi Yeshua ben Levi. He would ask him all sorts of psukim, and it was really annoying. So Rabbi Yeshua ben Levi had a good idea. He was going to pull a bilam. He was going to, figure out this time when God gets angry, and he's going to force God to kill this nudnik. So Yom Echad, one day, Shakal Tarnagola, he took a chicken, and he said, I'm going to look at this chicken and find when its crest gets white. V'ukme ben kare da arsa, and he put this chicken by the legs of his bed, v'iyen ba, and he was staring at it. Savar kimata hi shaita al taye, and he figured, when this time comes that God gets angry, I am going to curse this shtunk. Kimata hi shaita nayim. And guess what happened? When that time came, Rabbi Yeshua ben Levi passed out, and he missed his opportunity. Fell asleep. Omar shmamina lav orach ara lemebed hachi. He said, okay, maybe it's not so geshmak for me to do this. Maybe I should do other things. The pasuk says that Hashem's mercy is on all of his creations. So I have two ways of thinking about this. Either is that, like, of course I'm not going to be able to curse him. God has mercy on all of his creations, right? And of course God is not going to let me sort of curse this guy. Or the other way that I can think about it is, if God has mercy then on all of his creations, so then who am I to not have mercy on all of his creations? We have another pasuk. This pasuk is from Mishlei. It says, Gam anosh latzadik lo tov. It's not good for a tzaddik to punish people. So Rabbi Yeshua ben Levi said, you know what, maybe let me go back to the Bismedrash and learn a shtickle. Tan Mishmei Rabbi Meir, it was taught in the name of Rabbi Meir. Bishash achamos orachas v'chomalchim mizrach u'mariv manichim kisreim b'roshem mushtach v'milchama. Right, at the time that the sun shines, and all the kings of east and west put down their crowns for a second, and they bow down to the sun. Okay, Miyad koes HaKadosh Baruch Hu. That is when God gets angry with. So that is when God gets angry, and of course we know that the kings of east and west only get up at the third hour of the day. So I guess that's another hint, because up until now, Abaye said that it was within the first 3 hours of the day. But I guess if we think about it, well, these people only get up after 2 hours. So I guess it's really in the third hour of the day. Detective work. Okay. Rabbi Yochanan Mishum Rabbi Yossi, says Rabbi Yochanan again in the name of Rabbi Yossi, Tova mardus achas blibo shel adam yosim mikama malkios. Better is like one, is a bit of humility, that a person recognizes his own wrongdoings on his own rather than somebody else, beating him up in order to rebuke him. If he realizes his mistakes on his own, it'll have a much deeper impact on his future performance. Shnei Amar, as the pasuk says in Hosea, it says Viradfa es me'avel, that basically is it Viradfa or Viridfa? Viridfa es me'avel, and it's talking about. So there are two ways to understand this. I like kind of the way that Rashi explains this, which is that the Bnei Yisrael were chasing after all of their, chasing after Mitzrayim, chasing after Cush. They figured, they're going to save me. These are my friends after all, right? And guess what? When the Yidden needed these so to speak friends, they were nowhere to be found. The Amra, and the Bnei Yisrael then said, Elcha v'ashuva el ishi arishon, I will go back to my original husband, ki tov li az me'ata, it was better for me then than now, and they'll realize on their own how foolish they were to put their faith in these so-called friends who basically let them out in the cold when they actually needed them. So that was a very strong lesson for the Yidden, and that is much more significant than a whole bunch of beatings by somebody else. Reish Lakish says even better than 100 beatings, 100 whippings. Shenemar Techas Ge'ar b'Mevin Me'akos Ksil Mea. That the sort of fear and sort of the way that you get shaken up by sort of one bad look when it's an understanding person, meaning if you have somebody who you respect, and assuming that you yourself are sort of a mevin, somebody who understands, as opposed to a ksil, as opposed to a fool, but you're somebody who understands and somebody who respects, shows their disappointment with you. So that has a much stronger impact, me'akos ksil mea, than hitting a fool even 100 times. From Rabbi Yochanan Mishum Rabbi Yossi, Rabbi Yochanan said another thing in the name of Rabbi Yossi. Shlosha dvarim bikesh Moshe milifnei HaKadosh Baruch Hu v'nasan lo. There were three things that Moshe Rabbeinu asked from Hashem, and Hashem granted them to him. Bikesh etishra shchina al Yisrael v'nasan lo. He requested from God that he should place his shchina, his godliness, I guess, on the Jews. V'nasan lo, and God granted him that. Shnei Amar halo b'lechtecha imanu. That Moshe Rabbeinu, because God threatened. Well, God said after the Chet Egel, He says, "Look, I can't travel with you people. You're going to get me upset. I'm going to kill you all. It's not going to work." So Moshe Rabbeinu didn't accept that, and he said, "No, we need you to come with us," and God granted him that. So it wasn't enough that God should be with us. He also wanted that God shouldn't be with the idol worshippers. So v'nasan lo, God gave him that as well. Shnei Amar, as the pasuk says, "V'neflinu ani ve'amcha," that I and your nation should be separate, that we should be unique in that, in this, that we have your shechina. Bikesh l'dio drachav shel HaKadosh Baruch Hu v'nasan lo, and he also requested that God should show him his ways, and God granted him that as well. Shnei Amar hodieni na es drachecha, show me your ways. Amar l'fanav Ribbono shel olam, so he asked God, he said, please God, tell me the following, explain to me the following. How come you have tzaddikim? I don't think that this is like the Tanya's definition of it. I think it's more like, how come you have tzaddikim who seem to have a good life, and you have tzaddikim who seem to have, very bad lives? Yesh rasha v'tovlo, you have rishayim, evildoers who seem to have everything good. V'yesh rasha v'ralo, yet you have evildoers who also seem to have everything bad. So like, what's like the rationale behind this interesting observation? So Amrlo, so God answered Moshe, Tzadik v'tovlo, tzadik ben tzadik, tzadik v'ralo, tzadik ben rasha, rasha v'tovlo, rasha ben tzadik, rasha v'ralo, rasha ben rasha. He says it all has to do with your father, Moshe Rabbeinu. Look at the father. If the father was a tzadik, then the child will have a good life, right? So a tzadik ben tzadik is a tzadik whose father was a tzadik. A rasha v'tovlo, a tzadik v'tovlo is a tzadik whose father was a tzadik, right? A rasha v'tovlo is a rasha whose father was a tzadik, right? A tzadik v'ralo is a tzadik whose father was a rasha, and a rasha v'ralo is a rasha whose father was a rasha. But it all has to do with your father. You'll have a good life if your father was a tzaddik. You'll have a bad life if your father was a rasha. Now the Gemara is going to basically ask a question on this. Amar Mar, tzaddik v'tovlo, tzaddik ben tzaddik, tzaddik v'ralo, tzaddik ben rasha. Right? So we said a tzaddik v'tovlo is a tzaddik whose father was a tzaddik, and a tzaddik v'ralo is a tzaddik whose father was a rasha. Ini, is this really true? Is this really how these things work? That like your life, how good your life is dependent on like your father's activities? Ve'aksiv, but one second, we have the following psukim. Poked avon avos al banim, that God exacts the sins of fathers upon their children. Uchsiv, and we have another pasuk though that says uvanim lo yumsu al avos, that children will not die on account of their fathers. Rather, that pasuk says ish becheto yumasu, right? Each person will only die on account of their own sins. So v'raminan krai ahadade. So we ask this question. We say, well, which is it? Do we hold children accountable for their parents' sins, or don't we? Do we say everybody's accountable for their own sins? Umishaninan lo kashem. We answer, it's no problem. It depends. If they continue in their parents' ways, so then if their parents are a rasha and they're a rasha, so then then their parents' ways they'll be in trouble for them as well. However, if their father was a rasha and they're a tzaddik, so forget it. Then they won't be punished for their father's ways. So now we have to re-examine what this. So then, what's the trouble with tzaddik v'tovlo, tzaddik v'ralo, right? If you say that a tzaddik v'ralo is a tzaddik, the son of a rasha, but he didn't follow in his ways, so then why should he have a bad life? So ela hachi ka'amalei. This is what God was saying to Moshe Rabbeinu. Tzaddik v'tovlo is a tzaddik gamur. A tzaddik who has a good life is a complete tzaddik. Tzaddik v'ralo, tzaddik she'eno gamur. But whereas a tzaddik v'ralo he's a tzaddik, but he's not a complete tzaddik. Now maybe you could define it according to the definitions of the Balatanya, like complete tzaddik and not a tzaddik, but not a complete tzaddik. Okay, anyways, rasha v'tovlo, rasha she'eno gamur, or the rasha who still has a good is not a complete rasha. Rasha v'ralo, rasha gamur, whereas a complete rasha will have a bad life. Fine. Now this that we said that Moshe Rabbeinu asked God 3 things and was granted all of them, this is in contrast to Rabbi Meir, who says the Amar Rabbi Meir shtaim nasnu lo va'achas lo nasnu lo, that they granted him 2 of his wishes, but they didn't grant him 1 of them. I don't know who they is. It might be like God and his angels. But anyways, shenemar v'chanos yes asher achon afal pi she'enu hagun, that God says, look, v'chanos yes asher achon, I reserve the right to give chen. I don't know what's chen, like compassion. I don't know if that's true though. To he who I wish to give chen to, even though he doesn't merit it. And I'll have mercy on he who I have mercy on, even though he might not deserve it. So meaning this thing of Hodieni naz drachecha, right? Show me your ways. God says, no, I'm not going to show you my ways. I reserve the right to act how I wish. So Hashem says to Moshe, because Moshe says, right, right, so basically Moshe wanted to see God, right? Hareini nas kvodecha, I believe Moshe says. And God answers, Lo sucha lerosos pana, you won't be able to see my face. So Tana Mishmei Rabbi Yoshua ben Karcha, it was taught in the name of Rabbi Yoshua ben Karcha, Kach amalei HaKadosh Baruch Hu leMoshe. Hashem said the following to Moshe, Kishiratzisi, when I wanted to show you myself at the burning bush, lo ratzisa, you didn't want to, as it says that Moshe turned by Aster panav me'abit, right? So achshav shata rotza eni rotza, and now that you want to see my face, I don't want to show you my face. Ufliga de Rabbi Shmuel. So over there, it seems that Moshe Rabbeinu was basically being rebuked for what he did at the burning bush, for turning away from his face. God's saying, when I wanted to show you my face, you didn't. I'm not just going to show you my face now. But that Ufliga de Rabbi Shmuel bar Nachmani, Rabbi Yonasan, that argues, that's in contrast to Rabbi Shmuel bar Nachmani in the name of Rabbi Yonasan, the Rabbi Shmuel bar Nachmani, Rabbi Yonasan, B'schar shalosh zacha l'shalosh, that as reward for 3 things, Moshe Rabbeinu merited 3 things. B'schar vayaster Moshe panav, as a reward for the fact that Moshe Rabbeinu hid his face, zacha l'kalseser panim, he was zocha to have radiant face, right? As the pasuk says, kikaran or panav, that his face was radiant. B'schar kiyare, as it says, he turned away because he was scared. Zacha vayiru migeshes elav, he was zocha to the fact that Aaron HaKohen and the rest of the Bnei Yisrael were scared to come close to him. I don't know why that's like a good thing that they would be scared to come close, but okay. And as reward for from seeing, so he was zocha to that he could see the picture of God. And I assume that what it means is I think what we're about to learn in one line from now, that Moshe was zocher to see the knot of God's tefillin shel rosh. The Gemara continues, Vasirosi es kapiv ra'isa es achorai, right? That Moshe basically asked to see God. God said, look, I can't show you, my face, but I could show you, go in that little cleft of a rock, and I'm going to cover it with my palm. I then will remove my palm, and you'll be able to see the back of my head, right? Amar Rav Chana bar Bizna, Amar Rab Shimon Chasida, Melamed Shehera Akadosh Baruch Hu LeMoshe Kesher Shel Tefillin, that Hashem showed Moshe his knot of his tefillin shel rosh. That's what he got to see. Pretty cool. V'amar Rabbi Yochanan Mishum Rabbi Yossi. Rabbi Yochanan says another thing in the name of Rabbi Yossi. Kol dibur v'dibur sheyotzim mipi HaKadosh Baruch Hu l'tova, that whenever God says something good, that I'm going to do something good, afilu al tanai, even if it's on condition, right? I will give you this great thing if X, Y, and Z. Lo chazar bo, he will still give you that good thing even if the condition was not met, which of course would make for a very, very problematic computer program. That's what we would call a bug. If when a condition is not met, the action continues anyways. But nonetheless, I guess in this positive light, I guess this is a little bit more complicated. God's running the show. I'm not going to get into computers and God. But in any event, how do we see this? Minalan Mimoshe Rabbeinu. We see from Moshe Rabbeinu, Shneimar, Haref mimeni v'ashmideim v'gomer, v'ese oscha l'goy atzum. Right, God said to Moshe after the Chet HaEgel, he said, get away from me, and I'm going to destroy the Bnei Israel, and I will make you into a great nation. So Afagav deba Moshe Rachame Allah demilsa uvitla, even though Moshe Rabbeinu prayed and was mevatel this gezerah, and God didn't kill all the Yidden, nonetheless, afiluachi ukma bizare, nonetheless, he still did make Moshe's offspring very great. Shenemar Bnei Moshe Gershom ve'Eliezer, that the children of Moshe are Gershom ve'Eliezer, vayu bnei Eliezer Rechavya arosh v'gomer, uvnei Rechavya ravu lemala. And it says that that the children of Rechavya, who was the grandson of Moshe Rabbeinu, were very plentiful. Vitani Rav Yosef lemala mishishim ribo. They were even more than 600,000. Right, Asya Revia, because it says Revia in two places. Ksiv Hacha, it says over here Ravu Lamala. It says that their children, they were Ravu Lamala. Ksiv Hasim Bnei Yisrael Paru Vayishutzu Vayirbu. And of course, right, it says that Bnei Yisrael in Mitzrayim that they Vayirbu, that they were very plentiful. And over there, of course, they were 600,000. So we know that the descendants of Moshe Rabbeinu were 600,000. Moving on to Zayin Amud Beis. Rabbi Yochanan Mishum Rabbi Shimon ben Yochai. So now says Rabbi Yochanan in the name of Rabbi Shimon ben Yochai. Miyom Shebara, right? Miyom Shebara Hakadosh Baruch Hu Sa'olam Lohaya Adam Shekira'o Hakadosh Baruch Hu Adon Achiba Avram Vikaro Adon. From the time that God created the world, nobody called her Adon. Nobody called him Hashem Adon, Master, until Avram Avinu came and he called God Master. Shneimar, as it says by the Bris Ben Abisarim, right? God promises Avram Avinu that he's going to get Eretz Yisrael, and Avram Avinu says, "Vayomar Adonai Elohim bama eda ki irishena." Right? He says, "Adonai," which is Adon, my master. Right? How will I know that I will inherit Eretz Yisrael? To which God responds, take a bunch of animals, cut them up, and let's make this official. Okay, weiter. Amar Rav says Rav, Af Daniel lo ne'ena ela b'shvil Avram. And even Daniel was only answered on account of Avram Avinu. Shneimar, as the pasuk says, "Va'ata shma Elokeinu al tfilas avdecha." And now, God listened to the prayer of your servant, ve'el tachanunav, and his pleadings or something. I'm forgetting the word. Ve'ir panecha al migdashcha shameim, and shine your face on your destroyed temple, leman Adonai. Lemancha mibayle. It should have said right for your sake. But it says Laman Adonai, Laman Avraham Shekiracha Adon. But he says no, on account of Avraham that called you Adon. And says once again Rabbi Yochanan in the name of Rabbi Shimon ben Yochai. So this is the second instance where we repeat something that we already said. How do we know that that we don't try to appease somebody when he's angry? Right, that my anger will go away, and then I will console you and grant you what you want. And says Rabbi Yochanan in the name of Shimon ben Yochai, Miyom Shebara HaKadosh Baruch Hu Solamo Lohaya Adam Shehoda LaKadosh Baruch Hu Ad Shebasa Leah V'Hodaso. Right, from the time that God created the world, there was nobody who gave thanks to God until Leah gave thanks to God. Shnemar apam odes Hashem. That when Yehuda was born, Yehuda of course was child number 4 to Leah. Now Leah knew that Yaakov Avinu was only going to have 12 children, and he had 4 wives. So mathematically speaking, each wife should only have, or 2 wives and 2 pilagshim, 2 concubines. But each one was only, mathematically speaking, should only really get 3. But once Leah saw that she got 4, which is even above and beyond what she, should have gotten, so she thanked God. That's why he called Yehuda from Lashon Odeh. Reuven. So what's pshat with the name Reuven? So Amar Rabbi Elazar, Amar Leah. So Leah said when Reuven was born, Re'u ma bein bini leven chami. See, what is the difference between my son, Reuven, and the son of my father-in-law, Esav? The ilu ben chami, Esav, afalgav demidaite zavne livchiruse, even though he knowingly sold his birthright to Yaakov, Dichsev, it says, Vayimkor es bechora so Yaakov, that he sold his bechora to Yaakov. Chazum aksive, look what it says by Esav. Vayistom Esav es Yaakov, and nonetheless, he hated Yaakov for taking his bechora. What do you mean he hated Yaakov for taking his bechora? He sold it to him. This is why they called him Yaakov. He tricked me twice, right? He did it knowingly. But my son Reuven, even though Yosef got Reuven's birthright, against the will of Reuven, this is a pasuk from Divrei Yamim. That when basically, right, it says in the Torah that after Rachel died, Yaakov took Bilhah's bed and put it into his tent. Reuven felt that this was very disrespectful to his wife, to his mother Leah, that her tent should be brought into her bed should be brought into Yaakov's tent. So he moved his mother Leah's bed into Yaakov's tent, and it says that because he did that, he lost his bechora and it went to the Bnei Yosef. Right, afilu hachi lo akne bei, and even so, Reuven was not jealous of Yosef. Dichsev vayishma Reuven vayatzileu miyadam, that Reuven heard what the brothers wanted to do to Yosef. They wanted to kill him, and he saved Yosef. So even though against his will, his bechor was taken away from him, he still didn't hold anything. He wasn't jealous of Yosef at all. Now, just a note regarding the firstborn of Reuven. Reuven is still considered the firstborn. The only difference is the Gabi Nachala, that Yosef got double portion in the in Israel, because he has Ephraim and Menashe, whereas everybody else only gets 1. Okay, fine. Rus, my Rus. So how do you understand the word Rus? So Amar Reb Yochanan shezachsa v'yatsa mimena David sheriveu lakadosh baruch hu b'shiros v'tishbachos. Rus means, right, that she was zoche, that David HaMelech came from her. Sheriveu, that he, I guess, I don't know, what's the word when you sort of give somebody like sing songs and stuff like that to I don't know, I'm forgetting all my vocabulary. To I don't know if anybody remembers. You tell me, like to give somebody a song and stuff. So basically, he gave song to praise God with songs and praises. Okay, Minalan. Okay, so that's why her name was Rus. Minalan dishmagarim. So now this is interesting, right? So basically, what happened? So if you I keep on trying to remember that word. It's driving me nuts, but we have so much to do. Anyways, so if we look at the name of Reuven, it's impossible to say that Leah named Reuven because of what was going to happen in the future, that he was going to lose his Bechorah. And it's impossible that whoever named Rus named her Rus because in the future David HaMelech was going to be born. They named them because they named them. So interesting enough, we have a concept of Shma Garim, that your name could actually have an effect on your future life and the future happenings, which is interesting. And I was reading a book called The Creative Habit by Twyla Tharp, which was recommended to me by Shterni Israf, an awesome book, totally love it, recommend it to anybody. Anyways, she says that from a young age it was destined that she was going to be unique and she was going to do her own thing because her name was Twyla. Twyla is a very unique name. So it's interesting to see that your name can have effect on your future life. Amar Belazar de Amar Krasa. So how do we know that a name can have an effect on your future life? As the pasuk says, Lechu chazu mifalos Hashem, go see the greatness of God, Asher sam shamos ba'aretz, that he places destruction in the world. Atikri shamos ela shemos. Don't read it destruction, rather shemos, names. that look how crazy it is, the effect that names can have in the world. Says Rabbi Yochanan, name Rabbi Shimon ben Yochai, Kashet tarbus ra'a b'soch beiso shel adam yosem mimilchames Gog uMagog. It's terrible. It's so much worse when there's infighting inside of a family. It's even worse than the wars of Gog and Magog. The epic wars of the end of days. Shenamar, as the pasuk says, Mizmor leDavid b'vorcha mipnei Avshalom beno. That David wrote a melody when he was running away from his son Avshalom, who was trying to take his kingship away from him and trying to kill him. What does it say in the next pasuk? Hashem, marabu tsarai rabim kamim alai. How great are my pains, are my tribulations. So many people are coming upon me. But by Gog uMagog, it doesn't say anything about sorrows. It says lama rag shugayim ulumim yagu rik. How come all these nations are gathering together and just saying nonsense? It doesn't talk about how terrible it's going to be, that there's so much pain and afflictions happening. No, that's only in the context of when his son was when there was fighting within his house. Mizmor leDavid b'varchum pnei Avshalom b'no. Mizmor leDavid kina leDavid mibayei elei. Right, mibayei elei. So 1 second. The pasuk says that David wrote a little melody when he was running away from his son Avshalom. What? He wrote a melody? Mizmor leDavid? Kina leDavid mibayei. Kino, it's like we say on Tisha B'Av, those horrible things that we have when we're sitting on the floor. A lamentation. Shouldn't he have written a lamentation when his son Avshalom was trying to kill him and he was fleeing from him and running away from him? So Amar Reb Shimon ben Avishalom, interesting. Reb Shimon ben Avishalom says about Avshalom, what is a parable that we can give for this? The Adam Shiatza Olav Shtar Chov, a person who has a debt that he needs to pay. Kodem Shepero Haya Atsev. So before he paid it back, he was sad, he was stressed. He has this debt that he has to pay. La'acha Shepero Sameach. But after he pays it back, Zel, sure, it's still a debt. It's not so geshmak, but he's got it off his plate. He's paid it back. He can be relieved. Afkein David. Same thing with David HaMelech. Kevin she'amar lo HaKadosh Baruch Hu hineni mekim alecha ra mi beisecha hayatzev. Right? When God said, "I'm going to bring evil from within your house," he was very sad. Amar shema eved o mamzerhu delo chayis alai. Oh no, this is terrible, because David HaMelech was, after all, he was a king. He had a big household. He had servants. He had all sorts of people in his house. He also had 18 wives, and he had mamzerim. He had all sorts of interesting people wandering around his house. And he was nervous that, it could be anybody. It could be one of my servants. Maybe one time, I said something not nice to a servant. Now he's going to kill me. He's not going to have any mercy on me. Once he saw that it was Avshalom who was rebelling against him, Samach, at least he was a little bit, relieved. Right, Mishum Hachi Amar Mizmor. That's why he said a Mizmor, a melody, and the Gilyon adds Amar Stam Bara Dirachim Al Abba. That in general, a child at least has some degree of mercy on his father. It is permitted to fight with evil people in this world. Shenamar, as the pasuk says, Ozvei Torah Yahalalu Rasha, that those who left the Torah, they had the Torah and then they left the Torah, they will praise the evildoers. V'shomrei Torah Yisgaru, Shomrei Torah Yisgaru Vam. And those who guard the Torah will fight against these evildoers. Tanya Amiyachi, we also learn in a brayso like this. Rabbi Dostai B'Rab Matun Omer. Says Rabbi Dostai in the name of Rab Matun. Says Rabbi Dostai B'Rabbi Matun. Mutar Lizgaris Barushaim Ba'olam Hazeh. It's permitted to fight with Rishaim in this world. Shenamar, as it says, Ozvei Torah Yahalu Resha Vigomer. Right? That this pasuk that we just quoted. Vim lachashcha adam lomar. And if somebody's going to try to say, wait, what do you mean? You can really fight with Rishaim Ba'olam Hazeh? V'aksiv, it says, Al tischa b'mreim, al tikani b'osei avla. Don't get mixed up with evildoers. Don't be jealous of those people who are crooked. Right? So if if somebody says, look, the pasuk says, don't get mixed up with them. Leave them alone. Don't fight with them. So emorlo. Serenade. That's the word I was thinking earlier. That David HaMelech came from us, that he would serenade the Eibishter who shares with his Berachos. Fine. Anyways, back to our topic. So emorlo, say back to this guy who's trying to tell you, don't get caught up with the evildoers. So don't even fight with them. Don't get mixed up with them at all. And Morlo say to him, Misha libo nokfo omer kain. Only somebody who is who's scared of his own sins would say something so silly as not to fight against evildoers. Ella Al tischar b'mereim lihios k'mereim. No, when it says don't get mixed up with evildoers, it means don't do their things. Don't get caught up in the wrong crowds and drink their Kool-Aid. Right? Al tikani b'os le'avla. Don't be jealous of those crooked people. Lios ke'os le'avla. To be like those crooked people. That's what it means. But if they're Rishayim, you should fight against them. V'omer, and it says, Ayikani libcha b'chataim. Do not be jealous of b'chotim. No, b'chataim. Ki'im b'yiras Hashem kol yom. Do not get mixed up with sins. Just fear God all day. Okay, fine. So we just said that you should fight against Rishayim. It's mutter to fight against Rishayim b'olam hazeh. Ini, is this really true? V'amar Rabbi Yitzchak said, if you see a Rasha that he's on the up, things are going his way, don't start up with him, don't fight with him, you're not going to win. Shenemar, as the pasuk says, Yachilu drachav b'chol eis, that his ways are succeeding at all times. V'lo od ela shezocha b'din. And not only that, if you go to court with this Rasha, he will be victorious. Shenemar maru mishpatecha minegdo, that your sense of justice is separate from him, right? Even though in general you have a sense of justice, God, in this situation, this Rasha seems to be getting away with everything. V'lo od, and not only that ela sheroeh b'tzara, not only that, he's going to be able to get rid of his enemies. Shenemar, as it says, kol tzoru of yafiach b'hem. He'll just be able to blow like an ant, like you blow away an ant, he'll just blow away all of his enemies. So what's pshat? On the one hand, we're saying that we should fight with Rishayim in Olam Hazeh. On the other hand, we seem to be saying that Rishayim are unstoppable. So lo kash, we say it's no problem. Haba milei didei, haba milei dishmaya. It depends. If we're talking about milei dishmaya, religious things, spiritual things, then you have to take a stance against him. But if it's talking about like his own business dealings, he's a mafia boss, and he's got interests in all sorts of questionable things, let him be. Leave him alone. Don't get started. You are going to lose. So Zel. V'bai Semer, I'll give you another answer. Ha v'ha b'milei dishmaya. No, both of them are talking about b'milei dishmaya. And there are sometimes, even by milei dishmaya, when it comes to spiritual things that you shouldn't get involved in, just let him be. Rabbi Yitzchak specifically said, don't get involved with a Rasha who everything is going his way. Yeah, and so if everything is going his way, yeah, it's true, don't get involved. But if everything isn't necessarily going his way, he's just a regular Rasha, so then right. So then we say what? So then we say, V'shomer Torah Yizkaru Vam, that you should take a fight against them and take a stance. V'ibai Semer, I'll give you a third option. They're both even talking about a Rasha who things are going well for him, and even so, sometimes you should take a stance. Right? It depends. If you're a tzaddik gamor, then you could take a stance even against a Rasha who things are going well for him. The Amar Rav Huna, says, "My dichsev." What is the pasuk that says, "Lam"? Right. This is a pasuk in Chabakuk. He says, "Lama sabit bogdim." Right. God, why are you just watching these traitors and not doing anything? Tachush b'vala Rasha tzaddik mimenu, and you're being quiet as a evildoer just swallows up somebody who is a greater tzaddik than him. We say, what? This doesn't really. A Rasha is swallowing up a tzaddik? No, right? But it says that in a pasuk in Tehillim, it says that God will never let a Rasha defeat a tzaddik. And another pasuk says, "Lo yu'unet latzadik kol oven," that no iniquity will be prepared for a tzaddik. Right? So what does it mean that a Rasha is going to swallow up the tzaddik? El tzaddik mimenu bolea tzaddik gomer inu bolea. No, a Rasha can swallow up somebody who's a tzaddik mimenu. It doesn't say that much to be more of a tzaddik than a Rasha. He could swallow him up, but a tzaddik gomer he cannot swallow up. Or if you want to say it's different when things are going his way. And this is the third example on the page where we seem to be saying the same thing. Like, yeah, we already said that it depends if things are going his way or not. So why are we saying, or a different differentiation is, it depends if the things are going his way. Apparently the Rif says something. I don't have the Rif here, so I'm just going to say I don't know. The Amar Rabbi Yochanan Mishum Rabbi Shimon ben Yochai. Rabbi Yochanan says another thing in the name of Rabbi Shimon ben Yochai. So he says the Sfilaso, right? There's the Gilion changes it Litoraso, but I don't know. I think that Itaka makes more sense to actually be the Tfilaso. It says Oivav Noflim Tachtav, his enemies will fall from beneath him. Shenemar, as the pasuk says, V'samti Makom La'ami Li-Yisrael, I will give a place. It's talking about the Beis Hamikdash. Hashem says to David Melech that I will give a place to my nation Israel on Tativ, and I will plant him B'Shachan Tachtav, and I will dwell under him. Okay, V'lo yirgaz od, and they will not move around anymore. V'lo yosifu b'nei avla la'anosu kasher b'rishona, and the crooked people won't be able to give them a hard time like they did initially during the days of the Shoftim. Rav Huna Rami, and then Rav Huna asked the kasha, ksiv la'anoso uchsiv l'chaloso. You basically have an almost identical pasuk in Divrei Hayamim, and in that pasuk it doesn't say v'lo yosifu b'nei avla la'anoso, it says v'lo yosifu b'nei avla l'chaloso. And actually the truth is that the pasuk says livaloso. So I don't know why the Gemara is the use of l'chaloso, but batchila la'anoso l'vasof l'chaloso. Initially it says that you won't let he won't let the these evildoers bother them. In the end, it's that you won't let the evil people destroy, right? Because they're going to succeed in bothering them, because after the Yidden sin, so then the evildoers are going to bother them, but Hashem won't let them destroy them. The reason why I think there's talking about a makam kavua for prayer as opposed to learning Torah is because this is a pasuk in the context of the Beis Hamikdash, and I associate the Beis Hamikdash more as a place of prayer than as a place of Torah. But maybe it's like, as we said yesterday, they also had like the Lishkas Hagazis over there where the Sanhedrin would sit, and there we said that din is like Torah, so maybe it's a place of Torah as well. I'm not exactly sure. Okay, V'amar Rabbi Yochanan Mishum Rabbi Shimon ben Yochai Gedola Shimusha Shel Torah Yoser Milimuda. It is greater to serve Talmidei Chacham. Now we're going to learn later on in the Masechta that to be Mishamish Talmidei Chacham means to learn Gemara, but we'll get there later. In this context, it means to actually just be like a servant, a shamis of a Talmid Chacham. So it's more important, it's more significant to like be the right hand man of a Talmid Chacham than to actually study from the Talmid Chacham. Shneimar, Po Elisha ben Shafat. Right, here is Elisha ben Shafat asher yotzak mayim ayidei Eliyahu, that he poured water for Eliyahu, he served Eliyahu. Lamad lo ne'amar ela yotzak. Doesn't say that here is Elisha ben Shafat who learned Torah with Eliyahu, and that's what makes him so great. No, what makes him so great is that he served Eliyahu. So we see that it's greater to serve a Talmid Chacham than to actually, than what you actually learn. And it could be like also sort of a reference like what we learned yesterday, all those things where, the actual thing itself is not the value, but it's like these meta things that are the value, right? Like running to the shear is actually the value of the shear, things like that. So like, these meta things of like actually the service that you do for the Talmid Chacham is like greater than the actual Torah study that you do with him. All right, shkoyach everybody. Thanks for following along. I hope you enjoyed. Have a good one and peace out.